Welcome to the Wilderness Podcast. This is episode 78. I am your host, Dills, and with me, as always, is Deegan.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too much. How about you?
Pretty much same old, same old. So a little swapperoo there. This was a little April Fool's gaff. That was pretty good, eh?
Yeah, the long con, you know? Got him good.
All right, Deegan, the real Deegan. How was your week going?
Oh, man, Jesus, I don't even remember, really.
Just blacked out for 7 days?
Yeah, non-RS related. I guess just like Path of Exile, been playing that a lot.
Yeah, you were talking about it last week, and we were talking about it the other day. It kind of got me interested, because when Diablo 3 came out, I did enjoy that game, and every now and then I get that itch to play it, but then I put it into my PS4, and I realized it's going to take like 7 hours, not 7 hours, like 2 hours of downloading, and by the time it's done downloading, I'm not going to want to play it anymore, so haven't done it. And plus I usually pick it up, play it for like an hour or two, and then I put it down and don't play it for months. So that's why I haven't played Diablo 3. But yeah, you've been talking about Path of Exiles, and it's got me kind of interested in checking it out, mainly because it's free to play.
Yep.
Which is kind of a double-edged sword, where a lot of free-to-play games have this shitty pay-to-win system going in there. So that's what kind of frightens me, but...
Yeah, I mean, you can only like buy cosmetics in the game, or like bigger banks.
Now, how small is your bank that you have to buy a bigger bank?
You get 5 tabs.
How much is in a tab?
So it's dependent, like, I don't know how many spaces there are, but different items take up different amounts of spaces. Like a chest piece would take up more than like a necklace, you know?
Yeah.
Chest piece is
Makes
like a 2x3, necklace is just a 1. So the bags, like, I don't know, if you're first getting into the game, like, I wouldn't really worry. Like, I played like 200 hours on the default stuff, and I had no issues. Yeah, like, if you just kind of play the game for fun and whatnot, it's not really a big deal. If you're going to get into trading and stuff, you might need to buy or, like, upgrade one of your tabs for, like, a couple bucks to, like, a premium, which, like, allows you to put things up for sale in your bank. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't want to go too much into detail because it's a RuneScape podcast, but you never have to spend money. There's no, like, experience buying or item buying, you know? It's all cosmetics.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a super fun game. I've been going pretty hard at it for, I guess, 2 weeks now.
The reason I asked about the bank space is because, again, I mentioned it last week, I think it was last week, about MapleStory, where you could do the same thing. You could buy bigger inventory and bank space, but the difference was your inventory was, like, defaulted at, like, 20 slots. So think of, like, the RuneScape inventory, but even smaller than that, and that was all you could carry throughout the game. On top of that, your storage system could only hold 4 different items. That's it. Fucking 4 items.
Yeah. PoE is not that constricting. A lot of it is just like, if you start getting into like trading and stuff, you start holding on to items, and then you don't know, like, for me, because like I'm just, like, I don't know, every time I get back into the game, I start learning a lot of it because the game is so like complex.
Yep.
And I'm like getting a lot better at trading and stuff, but like I guess when you're first new to it, you start holding on to items that aren't actually that good, and you're trying to sell them, because like you can have some good items that take a week to sell, or like 3 days to sell. You know, sometimes they sell instantly. Like, you know, it's kind of hard to find it. Sometimes I'll have an item that I hold for 3 days, and I'm like, fuck, I should just like vendor it. And then someone like immediately is like, oh, can I buy it? I'm like, okay.
Interesting. So it's like the classic RuneScape trade system where you meet up in like Falador.
Well, the one thing I love about the game is they don't have currency, and I might actually bring this up later on because it's relatable to like RS and the economy system, the problematic economy in RuneScape.
So it
PoE
has no currency. How the hell does
it
that
has?
work?
Okay, so the way it works is the currency are consumable items. So there's a ton of consumable items that, like, you could have, like, there's different rarities of items, right? So there's like the whites, which is the worst, the blues, and then it goes yellows, and then it goes uniques.
Okay, yeah.
Or like legendaries, I guess, if you're to play like Diablo or WoW or something. And you can like use one item to turn like a normal item into a blue item, or like a normal item into a yellow item, or to like, randomize the item so it could become a unique. Like there's like you can use types of currencies like that. I don't want to go too far into detail, but some of them have different values than others, and you trade those. And it's cool because the currency, you can either buy items or you can use it and possibly sell it for more than, you know what I mean?
So the creators of Path of Exile, did they make it so it was going to be like that, or did that just become the default from the players? That's what they just decided to
I think that
use.
was their intention. Because there's no gold in the game, right? There's absolutely no gold. They did intend for like the different consumable items to have different values.
Interesting.
Worth. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Because that, relating it to old school not old school RuneScape, but just RuneScape in general, when they removed the free trade system, suddenly if you wanted to buy, I don't know, if you wanted to sell like an abyssal whip or something and you wanted to be at a loss, but you just want to get rid of it, it was kind of hard to do stuff like that because you were stuck, you're like pigeonholed into this one value of the item, so you had to find someone who's going to pay that exact price. But what you started having was these junk items that nobody was really going to buy, so you could throw it into the trade to kind of beef up the value of what you're putting in. So you put in like 1 mil gold, and then you put in like 800k, or like you put in another mil worth of junk items, which is just, I don't know, you could probably make it up in your head what you think a junk item is, and you're probably right. And so people would do that. They put in a shit ton of buckets of milk or whatever it is, and eventually bring it up to 1 mil value. And that's how somebody could just, that's how you could kind of merch. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was an interesting way of doing it, but that's what that kind of reminds me of. But that was more on the players figuring out how to get around this free trade system, which, the dark days.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I'm pretty addicted to PoE right now. But so RuneScape related. That being said, I guess I've been playing a lot of PoE, so I haven't done too much. I didn't do any raids this week, I don't think. I might have done like one. I actually don't know.
You've been going hard on those, so it's every now and then you do gotta switch things up and take a break.
Yeah, I've done some of my Sire task. I'm chipping away at that from like 2 months ago. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like, I've spent a lot of time, because I've played like a decent amount this week, but I've spent a lot of time bank standing and just dicking around. I started free to play risk fighting.
Oh, cool.
Stupid. I don't recommend it.
Or fun. No, not fun.
Well, like, okay, I've died, obviously. Like, I'm probably in the hole. I'm in the hole, like, maybe, like, 5 sets of rune, which is fine. But the big issue is, like, the way the free-to-play risk fighting works is that assuming you're, like, max, like, level 100 plus, you go in, like, you just go north of Edgeville, kind of like, the west side of, like, whatever where you do the air orbs, like, in that area.
Yeah,
just on the side. Yeah, you go stand there, wear your full rune, or like you wear your helmet, chest, legs, and whatever, and then someone will come up, let's fight, and then you take those off, but you equipped your like monk robes. You wear monk robes, and then you fight like that. And the whole idea of it is that you sit there and you 1v1 each other, and then you're supposed to deathmatch because it's like 150k you're gonna lose, right?
Sure.
You're supposed to. So what I found, people, and you're supposed to just like wear your monk robe so you can actually do damage, and you can use your prayer longer because there's no prayer potions, right? You don't use protect item because like you're gonna protect your rune plate body. That's kind of a dick move because I mean it's only 150k. Just risk it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Anyways, so what I found is that like a lot of people I would fight would unskull in the middle of the fight, because they're just not resculling, and you're like, there's no fucking point in fighting these guys. Or you start fucking them up, and then they just put on their rune armor and start fighting you. Or they just run. And so I go there, and like I died a couple times, like death matching people. Like I'm out of food. I'm not gonna put on my rune armor when I'm out of food. I'm gonna like just fight. Maybe I can get a lucky KO.
Yep.
That sucks. And then when I start beating someone, they just put on their rune armor, and then they run away. Or they teleport out, so I had to do fucking tele out on me, and I was so pissed, because, like, you're wasting because there's no tele tabs in free-to-play, you're wasting 3 inventory spots to not die.
Yeah.
It's annoying. And then, so I assumed, alright, so this is what everyone's doing. Some guy comes up and trades me, yo, let's risk fight. I'm like, okay. He shows me 100k, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm risking 50k more than him. And then I start fighting him, I'm out of food, he's out of food, and then he just starts running away. I'm like, oh, that's fucking stupid. So then I just like start walking away, and I see him picking up like swordfish from like the side. Some dude died at edge. He starts picking up food as I'm walking away, and then he jumps back on me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I just walk because like he was running away. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of just like bullshit, annoying things, and it's like it's 100. I'm here for fun. Like I'm down. I spent like 5 mil at the edge guy so I can spawn there, just so I can go there and do something. Because I'm so fucking bored. Because honestly, I'm kind of bored of RuneScape right now. I'm just finding shit to do to have fun. And, like, I'm just, like, getting annoyed because these guys, like, don't want to lose their 150K. And you're like, all right.
Yeah, looting other bodies. We never agreed. We never said we can't loot other bodies.
Like, let me put on a full rune, say, it's okay, I'm out of food, and I have, like, 3 pizzas and 2 swordfish. Yeah. Like, that's fine. And then I look over, and he's sitting there looting a full stack of food that some dude died. And I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
you never said I couldn't do this.
I mean, it's fine if he's doing that, but don't fucking wear a rune. Don't protect from range and do it. I had to do that to me as well. And it's like, were we NH tri-breeding and free to play? Hit you with those hot fire bolts? God damn it.
Get the 5-second snare.
Yeah. Sit under them, pop out, get a nice 2H hit. Anyway, so that being said, I didn't do that for too long because I'll probably like try to get into it again. I'll try and like find some people that are just willing to risk fight. Or just fight. I just want to fight people. Like I tried doing members fighting, and I either get someone who's got like max strength gear and he won't skull up, or some dude who just randomly pulls out ancients and starts farcasting me.
Yeah,
at Edgeville, and I'm like, what the? Or they want a Darok fight. The Darok fighters, I haven't seen them do anything stupid. I did one and I died, but. Let's not talk about that. I don't DH fight.
We leave that out on the weekly progression talks.
Yeah. Anyways, what else did I do? Well, we did some more corp. I think did you show up for some more corp? I don't know. We did some with the CC though for sure.
Yeah, we did some. Yep.
Yeah, that was fun. And then afterwards we were like, fuck it, let's go Darkbow rush some people at Revenants.
No, I tapped out before that.
That was fun for some, awful for one person.
Yeah.
They accidentally brought their cash stack and died, which sucked.
Ooh,
kind of felt bad.
That's rough. So I guess we're setting up a GoFundMe.
Yeah, GoFundMe. Just give me the money directly.
Yeah.
I'll sort it all out.
Deegan's got a system on how to get it doubled, so you don't have to pitch in as much.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy gilded armor, and then I'm gonna go risk fight it in free to play. Okay, you can't die 6 times in a row in a 1v1 in RuneScape.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's impossible. Did some Sarah. Me, you, and a buddy did some Sarah. That's pretty much it, though. I haven't really done too much. I figured out a bug. There was a bug that you could do on RS a while ago, and they patched it, and I figured out how to do it again.
Yeah.
So I've been trolling some people doing that. I don't really want to say what it is because it is bannable.
Is it really bannable?
Yeah. It's considered minor bug abuse. I was looking into it last night because after 8 people say I reported you for bug abuse, I was like, is this really bannable? And it is, so maybe next week I'll be banned.
I mean,
all it does is make my guy look fucked. It just makes him look weird. That's all it does.
Yeah, I saw you roll into the GE and you were just decked on some wacky armor, just looking, doing a little fucking crab walk. It looked fucking stupid, but it was hilarious. But yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I get that some things are, there's a lot of bug abuse in the game. Some of it's just accepted. For instance, tick manipulating or prayer flicking.
Prayer flicking, yep.
Yeah. And then there's some which you're just like, well, I was going to say well, that doesn't really affect your gameplay, but actually that stuff really does affect your gameplay. So
that stuff does. What I'm doing makes my guy just look stupid.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny. I can't see how, you couldn't go to Cerberus and avoid damage.
No, it just makes my guy look weird. The only thing is you can't see my attack animation, so maybe if I'm PKing, you could consider that abusing. If I'm doing that specific bug.
That's true.
But I haven't. I just stand at the GE and just say dumb stuff. It took me 2.5 hours to find that out, though.
Wow.
I was really bored one day, and I was on Path of Exile, and I was just thinking about RS for some reason, and I just started got down this weird train of thought. I'm like, man, I remember this being a thing. Is it possible? And I started to do it, and then 2.5 hours later, I figured it out. Kind of stupid though. Don't really want to tell you guys what I do because it is bannable, and I don't want to get anyone banned.
Yeah. Do you want to give us any teasers of what it might be?
No. Okay, how about this? Jump in the CC, come to Bhooley's giveaway. When we all meet up, you'll see it. How about that?
Ooh, nice. That works
How about
out.
that? How about that?
Fair enough. Anyways, on the topic of bug abuse, I don't got anything to really bring up that's new, but RuneScape's such a weird game. The way it's like the engine it's built on and stuff with this tick system, like there's so many. It's hard to, and we talked about this before when that big Cerberus bug came to surface, and a lot of people got banned for that. But it's just weird how some things you don't know what are bugs. Like, there's a lot of bugs in it, but a lot of them are just like, yeah, well, it's kind of just part of the game now. It's not really a bug. Yeah. And it's hard to tell where they draw that line, and I don't even think there is a line. They just kind of... I get that every case is a bit different, but I don't know.
Well, like, RuneScape has some super weird bugs. Okay, so the whole tick manipulating and then the prey flicking is an issue, but then there's things like you can stall, and I think Bodhi did this to save his Hardcore Iron Man once, but if you get poisoned and you don't have a prayer unlocked, so let's say you're like a Hardcore Iron Man, you're like level 50 or something, you get poisoned, you're at like 2 HP, you can click like augury and not move, and that chat box that says you need 77 and you gotta have the arcane scroll to use augury, you know, that like chat box comes up.
Yeah.
And I think you can do it when you open up your like attack, click on attack, and it shows like all like the weapons you can use. I think you can do that too, but you can do that and stall out the poison damage until you're unpoisoned.
Huh.
There's like a lot of really weird bug abuse in this game, but I mean, let's be real, you're only gonna get banned if you kill Emily.
Fuck, that's digging deep into the archives.
Yeah.
The archived memes. It's just weird because there are a lot of games, then again, I don't know what is bannable, but I remember Call of Duty, you could figure out ways to walk to other maps in multiplayer.
Yeah.
Where it was a pain in the ass, but it's things like you had to you kind of get glitched into a wall and you're able to get on top of a building, and then you walk and you fall off the side of a building, and now you're on some invisible bridge.
Have your buddy jump on your head and you stand up and you can push him out of the map or get him over this fence. Yeah.
But I remember in Call of Duty 4 being able to walk to an entirely separate multiplayer map. It was like a kind of bugged out version of it, but then you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Now I know you're not going to get banned for that because you're just playing local multiplayer. But then you have games like, I played World of Warcraft for a while, and there's this main city called Orgrimmar, which is basically the Horde faction's main city, I think. Yeah, I think it's the main city. But I remember me and a friend figuring out how you could basically climb up this mountain that's on the side. It's like this little hill is next to Orgrimmar, and you can get on top of it, and you're able to walk just on the sky. Or you're able to fall underneath the city and stuff like that. And you could just walk around. I remember doing that a bunch and never getting banned, but then again, I wasn't I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know how all games treat that type of stuff. But I remember spending hours being oh, this is so fun. You're kind of exploring a bit, but I don't know.
Well, we'll see. If I get banned, we'll know what we can and can't do. I don't think I will. That'd be really dumb.
Permanent banned, instantly? How mad would you be?
Kind of pissed. I'd probably just make a new account and keep doing stupid shit. But no, I only brought that up because I've been trying to figure out a bunch of other really weird bugs, and I gotta make an account to try and do one of them, a new account, because it's related to a quest and all that. Okay, do you remember Initiate's quest?
Yep.
Okay, so I think I might be completely wrong though, but there might be a way to smuggle out. You know when you're at that part with the fox, the chicken, and the grain?
Yep.
There might be a way to smuggle you can hold equip them and then be able to smuggle them out of the quest.
Yeah.
I want to try and see if I can figure out how to do that. I don't know. I've just been so bored that I'm just trying to find stupid things to do for fun. And I don't know. Making my guy look stupid and walk like a crab was pretty fun. So I just want to probably make an account and then see if there's any weird shit I can do with certain quests. And do that stuff.
It is kind of fun because you're kind of exploring the game in some weird, some weird sense. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, figuring out some new things, how certain items interact with the game and whatnot.
I was trying to think of some classic bugs as we've been talking, but I can't think of any right now. Besides the whole fucking how to lose all your items in your player-owned house back in the day when construction was first released, when in the boxing arena.
You mean with the Fowler Massacre?
I think that's what came off afterwards, but before that, there was a huge problem of people just losing their items beforehand, where it was like this. I think I had a friend who used to do it, and he'd always be like, yo, I got like 50 milk from this. And I think it was, how did it work? You brought them into your boxing arena, you fought them, and then you like kicked them out as you were fighting them or something?
Oh, like as they're about to die or something?
Something, and then they died, and then you would just take all their items. I can't remember it exactly, but there's something on those lines. I should have done some research. Maybe I'll do some research and come back next week with it.
Yeah.
Bunch of shit like that, though.
Such an old game, and it's kind of a bad game. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Like, the take system is pretty bad. Like, there's a bunch of, like, stupid things in the game, but that's kind of what makes it really great.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
that allows you to be able to do really weird shit with the game. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a relic brought back to life, and it's on like life support at this system, but it's kicking. It's still going strong. Stronger than ever, I'd say, actually.
Yeah. What'd you do this week?
Ooh, what did I do this week? Not a whole lot, at least. It doesn't seem like it. Did a little bit of rune crafting through ZMI just because sometimes when I'm bored and if I'm like, so I talked last week how I'm kind of been playing this Dungeons and Dragons thing, and I've kind of gotten really interested in it, so I'm constantly watching YouTube videos and reading my player handbook and Dungeon Master's guide as I'm playing RuneScape. Just, I don't know, it's a really cool thing that I'm a little obsessed with at the moment. But anyways, whenever I'm doing something where I'm like I'm like half playing RuneScape and I'm half doing something else, but I'm playing RuneScape enough that I can do something that's not really that AFK. I've been doing rune crafting just because the grind is fairly tedious because of how slow it is, but not as bad as agility in my opinion. But anyways, I've been doing the rune crafting. I'm at 70 Y right now, so I'm still slowly getting to, 77, I suppose. I think that's the goal. Besides that, what else am I doing? Plugging away on that Cerberus task. Probably got like 50 more kills to get. No uniques, nothing interesting there, but again, talked about it last week. I'm a little demotivated to do that task. And still kind of am, but, every now and then I'll just hop on and plug away and start trying to kill it. Yeah, and then we talked about how you and I and somebody else went and did the Saradomin boss, Commander Zilliana.
Yep.
So that was my first time there, but that wasn't too bad. We spent a couple hours there. Nothing good. I think we lost money, but nothing too exciting. But that was, like I said, it's my first time there, so that was kind of fun to do just because it was all new to me. So quickly, I guess we'll go through what that boss consists of in case you don't know. First off, you need 70 agility to get there, or I guess you can probably boost from 65 with a Summer's Pie. And you got to get there for it. We did it in full Verax with Guthans to heal, so we did like some melee method. When you go there, you got the boss plus 3 different minions that are kind of spawn around her. It's a pretty simple fight. It's pretty basic. You basically just fight it. The 3 of you are just attack it as normally, praying magic, and every now and then she'll switch her target to somebody else, and whoever she's targeting basically just runs away, and she'll kind of half chase them, and then the other 2 just smack away, and then she'll target someone else, and then that person runs away. So that's basically it for the fight. It's pretty simple. We were able to stay there for felt like 2 hours, 3 hours almost. I don't know.
2.5 hours about.
Yeah, so
we got like almost 100 kills. Yeah, like in solos and duos, you range, you use your crossbow and you just run her in circles. And trios and stuff, you just wear Verax and whack her. Yeah, I don't know. I got like one nice kill at like Bandos really early on, and I have never gotten another unique from God Wars.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have like collective, like, because with duos and everything, and trios, over 300 kills at Sarah, and probably like 300 at Bandos as well.
Wow.
I've never done Zamorak or Arma. I'll do Arma at some point. Once I get like Aviancies or something, I'll start doing Arma. But
that's normally when I do Armadillo. I get the Aviancies. I go kill the Aviancies. I don't know if it's a Slayer. I don't know if you can buy from the Slayer Master or if it's from a diary, but the Aviancies drop noted bars, Addy bars.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of nice. I just kill about 40 of them, grab them, go in there, kill 2 or 3 of the boss, teleport out, jump back in, kill some of the Aviancies, get 40 kill count, jump back in. I kind of do that until my task is done, and that one's a pretty simple one. But for the Saradomin boss, You're basically going... So she has a few uniques. She has like the Saradomin sword. She's like 700k, so it's not that... It's not that great. But then she has the Saradomin God Sword, which sells for what, 40 mil?
Yeah, 40 to 44 mil.
44 mil. And then she also has the Armadillo Crossbow, which is what, 30 mil now, so that's been going up. But
yeah,
another good one, which it's kind of weird that she drops the crossbow and not the Armadillo boss, but I guess they have to kind of divvy out the loot because the Armadillo boss does drop the, full Armadillo, which is like, what, each piece is what, 20 mil, something like that?
Yeah, helmet's like 4 mil. It's because like in the lore, Ziliana stole Armadillo's crossbow.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of just an excuse to make the loot more balanced throughout each boss. Zamrock needs some love though, but let's not talk about him.
Yeah, no kidding. But I just looked up the Armadillo chestplate, sitting at 40 mil.
Yep. Very happy I got in while it was cheaper.
So I wonder what's causing that to go up in price, or maybe it's just the player base slowly.
Vorkath,
yeah. Maybe the player base is just slowly getting to a higher level where more people want it.
It's Vorkath.
Okay, Vorkath.
wait. I'm just saying that, but let's double check. Let's check out the GE. Vorkath came out a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
When would you say Vorkath came out?
In January, like it was like the first or second week of January because I called in sick from work for like the whole week.
First week of January. January 1st, it was 36 mil. On the 7th, so I guess when Dragon Slayer 2 came out, it went up to 37. Yeah, it was at 37 mil. 5 days later, drops down to 32, because I guess Vorkath, wasn't that lucrative at the time. And then, right around when Dragon Hunter Crossbow got buffed, it went from 32 mil to 40.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, because Vorkath, like, if you have whatever the DFS is, whatever it's called for the range, guys, for the rangy boys.
Is it the ward? Dragonfire ward?
Yeah. You use that with a Hunter Crossbow and full Arma, and Salve Amulet, obviously, and like the best in slot range gear with rigor and whatnot. You make over 5 mil an hour at Vorkath. Which is funny that everyone bitched about Zulrah being OP.
And Rev Caves.
Here's the thing. It's a really big investment to make 5 mil an hour.
Yep.
It's a couple 100 mil, I would say, like almost 300 mil, probably closer to 400 mil actually, to get 5 mil an hour. Give it a month or two and you're going to start hearing complaints because those people that are making that money that like finally are able to hit that threshold are like, let's just keep it quiet. You know what I mean? Once they buy all their gear and they don't need any more money, maybe a little bit after raids too, once they get their Grazi.
Yeah. It's interesting to talk about because you say it's about a 400 mil investment to get 5 mil an hour.
Not including like the 50 to 60 mil you need to get 83 construction as well, or I guess 82 for the ornate pool. It's probably closer to 500 mil total, if I'm being honest, with the construction level and everything.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So it'll take you like almost like 100 hours to get until you kind of make the money back that you invested. Now, is that something that's kind of fair to have? Where like 5 mil an hour is ridiculous, but you're gonna have to spend 100 hours there before you've broken even.
So the main thing is that with the Hunter Crossbow, the full Arma rigor is like you're not only going to be using that at Vorkath. Like the Hunter Crossbow is the second best weapon, only beat by the T-Bow at raids. Arma is the best in slot range gear. Rigor is the obviously best in slot prayer, and rigor itself is amazing. You're going to use that any time you range, right?
Yep.
Rigor's super overpowered. It's so strong. It's not exactly like 100 hours to make your money back, because some of the things like you're buying rigor and it instantly pays for itself. If you PK or as long as you don't skill obviously it's not going to help if you're skilling.
Yeah.
Even with Slayer, if you get Wyverns, you're just going to bust up the Hunter Crossbow now. Yep. You know, the Armadillo is really, really good. So it's implying you're keeping those items forever. You could also just sell them when you're done with Vorkath. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I do think the money might be a little bit too high.
It does seem pretty damn high. And if I were to guess, I have a feeling that when raids come out, they're going to take a look at Vorkath and probably bring it down and then put raids, the Theater of Blood, into that slot of 5 mil an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
It seems like what they do. They bring down, you know what I mean? They have this thing, they're like, oh, well, it is the best way to make money. Then they're just like, well, I mean, I guess we can't bring out some new content that's going to be 7 mil an hour because, fuck, that's going to...
Yeah. They have to give the old Guild Wars treatment, bring everything to a baseline.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is super weird that Vorkath gives you way more, like, okay, raids averages about 3 mil an hour, at least for me. That's the, like, what I've been getting is probably a little bit less than 3 mil an hour now because I haven't hit a big item, but I'm kind of close-ish to another one.
Yep.
But yeah, like average 3 mil an hour at raids, but it pays off after like 100 hours, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Vorkath, you average like 100 to like 135k per kill, and the money's instantaneous. That's the big issue. And like that's implying like you're not getting any uniques. You're getting like 130, let's just say like 115k or 100k per kill. Mm-hmm. You get like the ward, and that's like 70 mil.
Yeah, that's gonna spike.
There's two visages that you can get from Vorkath, and like that's always gonna change your numbers a lot. So you do 100 hours, I wouldn't say, you like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, 100 hours, like 5 mil an hour. That's like, 50 kills an hour. Yeah, no, you should hit both visages and the pet too on average.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But the thing is that the community's not memeing about it, so it's kind of pointless to not talk about it because nothing will get done until Reddit starts making memes about it.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that one. And quickly on the topic of rigor, while we're touching about this stuff, I saw somebody make the comparison that having black D-hide with rigor is as strong as full armadillo. So it's kind of interesting.
Do you mean like just like your damage output?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, that's I guess that's basically my week right there. I was also doing I'm stuck on a master clue right now where I gotta do some Shades of Morton. Gotta get into the catacombs to kill some dude. It's just pain in the ass. That's where I'm stuck on that one now. So I did that quest and waiting for that third age. So here we go. Yeah, I don't think anything else exciting happened, so I think we can move on.
Yep.
What do we got for the news this week?
All right, so it is not as eventful, but we have the quality of life and content poll. We should talk about that.
All right. Wait, another quality of life poll?
Well, the quality of life, they're implementing the quality of life stuff, and there's a content poll.
Gotcha.
After the recent quality of life month, jam-packed with the varied updates and content changes, they didn't feel it was enough. So they've spent some time going through the backlog of the quality suggestions that were pulled like years ago and all that stuff. They say we're aiming to get the poll live in-game, and as many of the questions that passed in the game as part of the next 2-week game updates. There may be some jobs that take a little bit longer. They can't word things easily. No. I always get confused when I'm reading their wording. Anyway, so they want to implement like a new version of the zoom distance with the camera. They want to increase the limit. Cool. That's going to take a little bit longer than they expect, though.
Sure.
They're working on the free-to-play PvP worlds. And the looting bag being destroyed while in the wilderness. We talked about that before, but preventing, like, if you were to break or destroy your looting bag in the wilderness, your items would just drop on the ground. That'll be coming on Thursday, April 5th. So next week's update.
Cool.
They want to do some graphic changes with the Slayer helm.
Okay.
They have like a new standard look. They show us like the difference between the standard and the imbued. One's like more of like a bluish, the imbued has more of a bluish tint, I guess, to like the gray parts. Yeah. And they want to adjust like just the colorings of some things. So, and these are pulled, by the way. So should the color of the standard Slayer helmet be changed so it slightly differs from the imbued? You want to flame someone for not having an imbued Slayer helmet? Feel free. They want everyone to be able to do that. Everyone is equally treated.
Perfect.
On if they can flame each other or not. But they do want to change like the colors of like, or the tints, I guess, of the colored helmets and all that stuff.
Everything. Yeah, so they have the poll of the regular, a picture of the regular Slayer helmet, and they also have a picture of the colored the colored Slayer helmets, but my problem is I think they chose the Skatizo recolorment.
Yeah.
Or recolor. I don't even think that's a word, recolorment. But anyways, I don't see any difference between the two of them. The tintings, they both look the exact same to me. So
Yeah, there's like a really, really, really slight difference.
I don't know what it is.
Where the cheeks are a little bit darker on the back of the head, the neck part, or the black band on the back of the head where it connects. If you look at the tinting on the back, I guess the back side of that is they just changed the tinting. It's not even noticeable. It might be more noticeable in game though. Good example is the Inferno cape fiasco.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so the pictures differ from what it'll actually look like in game,
Well.
because they can't have the right brightness settings in game. Anyways,
I never realized how badass the Skatizo Slayer helmet looks. You got the red eyes.
oh yeah,
It's fucking nice. Do they all have that? I'm gonna check out my. I want to check out I got the King Black Dragon one. All right, live update. Your King Black Dragon recolor also has the red eyes, so that's cool.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Next up is the Tale of Righteous. So it'll be like a Shazian based quest for the Karen. Free 10% favor if you do it. You get a quest point, and you get a teleport page, the Shazian teleport page if you do this quest. If you were like, this is being pulled, by the way, but yeah. So like, you'll need to have Clan of the Karen done, 16 strength, 10 mining, and 20% Shazian favor to do this quest.
Not bad. The little snippet of lore they give you, I suppose, is over 1,000 years ago, King Shazion VII ordered an expedition to Mount Quid Mortem. The expedition never returned, and it was assumed that all members perished in the field. However, a recent discovery suggests that this may not have been the case. Phileas Rimor is the descendant of the expedition leader and is desperate to discover the truth. Join him and delve into the conspiracy of 1,000 years in the making in Tale of the Righteousness.
Well, just righteous.
Oh.
There's no Ness.
Yeah. Fuck's sakes.
No PK fires in here. I really hope you have to kill Olm.
Think so? For
I
the
hope.
8,000 coins?
Yeah. Well, everyone knows you need 16 strength and 10 mining to kill Olm.
Yeah, fair enough. It does seem like they are bringing a quest to each of the Zaya houses, which I'm all for. That quest was very barren of quests beforehand, and yeah, it felt like it needed a bunch, so this is pretty cool.
Like 4 years too late, but better late than never, right?
Hey, they're still on their second phase of the Zaya. It's going to take them another 5 years to get the third one out.
They're on part 2 of their 3-phase plan, but they're on part 2 of phase 2.
Yeah.
Adding quests.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so there's a bunch of poll questions. I'll just start firing them off.
Shit.
Should the requirement to enter the volcanic mine be changed to 150 kudos and completion of the museum camp mini task, requiring you to build the camp rather than get the 180 kudos?
Sounds good. Maybe it'll bring more people doing that little mini game.
Yeah. Should the glider at Felda Pills have a left-click option to travel?
I don't see why not if all the other ones have them.
Yeah. Should it be possible to store Pennant's armor in the POH costume room? You would be able to store each individual hat, like once the fighter torso, skirt, and gloves and the runner boots have been deposited.
Only if Ultimate Iron Man can't use this.
Yeah. Speaking of, you gotta remind me about this Ultimate Iron Man discussion because I have to bring something up after these updates.
All right, I'll set a little note.
So this would actually allow Ultimate Iron Man to get their torso and their fighter helmet. Those are like the only real useful things that you would want to get. Fighter helmet is because it's the best in slot helmet for most bosses because it gives you +5 attack accuracy in like attack slash or slash stab and crush.
Nice.
So it's a really good general use if you're like not on task killing Bandos or something. Super, super nice. Dwarven helmet does have a higher crush. It's a +6 instead of a +5. So if you're like Dragon Warhammering things, use the Dwarven helmet.
Or killing something like, I was going to say Cerberus, but you're always on Slayer task for that one.
Yeah.
Killing that one motherfucker in the wilderness.
Yeah. Yeah, next question anyways. Should it be possible to continue gaining favor in various houses of Quran without losing favor of those you have not already locked 100% in? regardless of the results of this poll, we're looking to rebalance favor gain in general. So does this mean you have to hit 100 and then you're good? Or do you have to hit 100 and then start the alliance quest? Because I don't think you should be able to get 30 in one, 10 in another, then 10 in this one, then 15 in that. You know what I mean? I think if you should have to finish one house and then lock it in. Or like have it lock in once you hit 100%. That's what I think should happen.
Yeah, I don't know, because beforehand, we've talked about it before, where you could gain 101, but if you wanted to do another house activity, you would start bringing it down in the other one. Right now, how it stands, that can still happen, but you can prevent this by starting, I think it's a mini quest or just a regular quest, and then once you get 100%, you talk to the specific architect, locks it in for you so you can never lose it.
Yeah.
This sounds like... Should it be possible to continue gaining favor in the various houses of Korend without losing the favor for those you have not already locked in at 100%? It almost sounds like, yeah, you can get 10 in one and 20 in the other and something like that.
See, I don't think this is good. Do you? What do you think? I want to hear your opinion first before I go on my tangent.
I see, that's the thing. I'm like, I think it should stay the way it is now. Beforehand, where you kept losing it even after 100 was a pain in the ass, but now we have the quest, we can lock it in. It gives you a reason to do that quest anyways, otherwise what's the point of it? But, so, part of me is like, well, no, you should have to get 100% before you can move on to the next one. But I don't know if I'm saying that because I had to struggle through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so... Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
I don't know what the problem would be if someone could just do a little bit of this one and a little bit of that one and slowly get them all
are you
up.
inviting me to complain? Because I can complain. You're opening me up to complain. Here we go.
Right.
You only need 60% Arceus favor to use the spell book. All right?
Okay.
So that would allow you to use barrow teleports, make the tabs, to use the ensouled heads, all that stuff. You only need 60%. So it would... Doing this would actually promote people not finishing the Architectural Alliance mini quest. Like it promotes people not doing content, which is bad. So I think the way it should be is you hit 100%, and then in the favors it would like say 100%. Once you hit 100%, it's locked in. A thing goes, congratulations, fireworks, whatever you want. But then it has something to let you know you haven't done that part of the mini quest, maybe. But you hit 100%, you can work on something else now. I think that's how it should be. I think you hit 100%, you're good.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I don't think it should be you hit 60%, now I don't have to do Arceus ever again because I got the spellbook. That's all I needed. I already got the teleport. I can use the barrow stuff. I can do ensouled heads. I don't need to get Arceus up anymore. All right, now let's go do some Lova Kench. I want to do Blast Mine. And I don't know what Blast Mine is, but...
I think it's 75...
let me double check. Okay, another example because you need 100% in that one. But you know what I mean?
The Woodcutting Guild for the
Yeah.
Hosidius house.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's at 75 or 70%.
Yeah. So it promotes people getting to like a certain threshold of each thing, and like now I never actually have to finish this stuff. And like it was super annoying when I got Hosidius 100% like 8 fucking times. I had to do not 8, but maybe 3 or 4 times because like you weren't able to lock it in at one point, and then once they added it, I didn't know about it. And eventually I like locked it in. Yeah, like dude, I went between Arceus and Hosidius over and over and over again, and this wasn't what the Clan of Korend wasn't a thing. So getting like Arceus didn't take me 2 hours or an hour, and we didn't have that fucking GitHub that told us where all the books were.
Yep.
And I had to go to click on every fucking bookshelf, and that would take me like 4 hours plus easy to get it done. Like when I did it my last time, it took me less than an hour. Arceus was super fast. I'm not saying everyone should go through that, but I'm saying everyone should get 100% if you're actually going to use something, and like use something now and in the future.
Yeah, I guess I agree there, because like if you're sitting there listening and you're like, well, why the fuck do I need to get 100% in Hosidius to use the Woodcutting Guild? Well, you don't really have to. You could easily just get 75 and leave it there. But if you want to get that as well as the Arceus spellbook, then you have to start being like, okay, well, I gotta get this one locked in first, because it does make sense. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I agree there.
Yeah, the way it used to work was, let's say I had 100% Hosidius and I wasn't able to lock in, or I haven't locked in that favor yet, and I start doing Arceus, it would eventually go to 50% Arceus, 50% Hosidius, and it like balances everything out like that. That shit was annoying, but I don't think you should be rewarded for not finishing a house.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, next question. So if poll number 6 passes, should the completion of the mini quest Architectural Alliance reward players with a lamp that grants 5,000 experience in any skill over 35? If you've already completed the mini quest, you can return to Hosa to claim the lamp, and he's in the center of the Great Courant where the thing is.
All right, so that answers my question before, being like, what's the point of doing the quest then if you can already lock them, or you don't need to lock any of them in and they'll remain at whatever you left it at? Okay, so now this poll passes, and the reason to do the quest to get 5k experience.
In rune crafting.
Or agility.
Or agility. Or if you're an Iron Man Herblore. Yeah. Or if you're my Obby Mauler, Slayer.
Or if you're an NMZ prod, Slayer. So, never mind, you took that example already. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, 5k is nothing. It's kind of like, thanks for playing. Yay. That's kind of what it feels like, which is fine.
You want your quest cape? You're going to go grind out 100% in all the houses.
Give me a cosmetic. Give me a fucking cosmetic. Don't give me an experience reward. Give me some cool shit. Give me like a chisel. Like an equipable chisel.
I'm running out of fucking bank space.
A stone cutters thing that you can put in your POH costume room.
I can't have all these.
I don't know. Give me some stone cutter thing. Or give me like some shit that like resembles all the houses. Give me a t-shirt with like all their colors on it or something.
T-shirt.
Gilbert's Colors 2.0. Yeah. Let's give me that. But a cape. I don't know. I honestly
Gay
would
Pride
prefer
event kind of roll around. We can get that for that event.
Yeah, it's meme for Gilbert's 2.0. I think I guess the experience is fine, but I kind of feel like that they know that it like they really want poll number 6 to pass, and like how can we make them do that? Well, let's just give them experience so they have an I don't know. I feel like Jagex is always willing to just give out experience in terms of like
experience
doing
lamps.
like
look at the fossil island. Every time you finish an exhibit case with your fossils, you get like a 1 to 5k experience lamp.
Yeah.
So you want to train rune crafting? Go do fossil island things.
I don't know. I feel like I only say cosmetic because that's the only. I don't want a best in slot. I don't want something. I don't want like a bronze golden scimitar. I don't want a bronze trim scimitar. Like, I guess that would be considered cosmetic. But you know what I mean? Like, I want like something that everyone can kind of use. I guess that's not just straight up experience. I don't know. I think it's it's not cheap. It's uncreative reward.
Yeah.
Regardless, there should be a reward similar, like either as experience lamp or like an item or something cool once you complete this Architectural Alliance mini quest. Yeah. I guess the looking at the statue is cool. Instead of it being a big fucking dildo, like a big cylinder in the middle of Zia, it's actually like a cool looking statue. It does look really sweet once you're done the quest.
Okay.
Let me put that in my POH. Maybe not a 1-to-1 scale. Maybe like a little statue. Like, give me something.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they should just fucking fire someone and hire me. I'll be the ideas guy. Every company needs a good ideas guy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Anyways, poll question number 8. Should a counter be added which shows how many tracks you've unlocked?
Sure. I don't know.
I guess. Kind of a weird. Do people care that much? Give me a search function. How about that? Have a fucking search function for music?
Music and the quests? Holy fuck, that's a great idea.
Yeah, well, why are we getting like a counter? Why not a search function? I don't know.
You should be their ideas guy. Is that a job for most companies? The ideas person?
No. The joke I was making is that like you go on Reddit or something, there's always people that are like, I have this really great idea for this game. It's like RuneScape meets Call of Duty. We're gonna start a company. All I'm gonna do is, I'm paraphrasing, but I'll just give you the ideas. You guys do all the programming and work, but I take 80% of the money because it's my idea. Yeah. That was the joke I was kind of making, but like, no, I don't know. It was a really bad joke. No one would have got it, but
I get what you mean.
Everyone has that. They have a good idea, but just go on Reddit. I need a team and sort by controversial. Just go on that subreddit. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm serious. It's that shit. I don't know. Search function for I didn't even think about quests. That'd be really nice. And for music, that would be super nice.
What else? Spells? Maybe? You know how often I'm fucking having to go through every single spell in my lunar spell tab because I can't find the Iranian teleport.
It's funny you say that, because do you know the dream spell, the lunar magic spell, Dream?
Yep.
So it restores your HP by, like, I think it's called Dream, by 5 times the amount.
Sure.
And the animation puts you, like, you sit down, cross your legs, you put your head in your hand, and, like, you sleep. And there's Z's going above your head. It's a really cool animation. I was trying to find a way to bug my character out, so I was stuck in that animation. And it took me, like, 4 or 5 minutes to actually find the spell in Lunars. I'm like, all right, we're starting from the bottom. Taste Vengeance? No. Vengeance? No. Next one? No. Like, going through all of them, like, where is... Oh, found it. Okay, what do I need?
Yep.
Fuck, I forgot the runes. Where is it again?
I have to do it every single time I go do ZMI rune crafting. Every time, because I'm like, I don't know.
That's actually a really good point, though. It doesn't really happen with me on Ancients or Standard, because I've played the game so long and I've used the spellbook so much, I just know where everything is.
Yeah.
Or it's like, where's Fire Blast? I just like, okay, I can't be like, it's 5th one down, 3rd one over. Like, I don't know the actual, like,
no, you
where
go to
it is,
Earth
like,
blast,
which number.
water
but,
blast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But if you're a new player and you open up these spell books, you know, maybe sort by water or like sort by the rune. I don't know. It'd be cool to have some.
They
sort
used
of
to
system.
have that where they had these tabs. You click them and it'd be like damage spells only, and it would only show your damage spells, and you could do like teleports only, or I don't know, one that would show like your alking and your superheat. You know what I mean? Like the skill related spells. I don't know, but they have that in RuneScape 3 or back when it was like RuneScape 2.5.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll pitch some questions to Jagex. You know, I'll show them their door, take a dump on their doorstep, like I said I would once I GoFundMe finishes, and I'll give them some ideas. Anyways, well, let's move on though, because we have a bunch more to go through. The next poll question: should a basket be added next to the hot air balloon system, where you can hold up to 100 of each log required? These logs would automatically be used when using the hot air balloon, and they can be stored in noted form, and there would be no way to retrieve the logs once you have deposited them.
Perfect. Maybe I'll actually use that transportation system.
I've only ever used them for diaries and quests, like to unlock them. I've never gone back, but maybe you're an Ultimate Iron Man, maybe you're an Iron Man, maybe you just don't have the magic level to teleport around, or it would unlock like, oh, let's go here. Let's say you're in Dead Man mode and you need to take a hot air balloon that you've already unlocked the path for because you think ahead, you know. Yeah. I think it would kind of be cool. Like, why does Deacon have 100 U logs noted in his bag, or like 28? Oh man, he's a genius. Let's hire him at Jagex.
Yep. And like there's some places that the hot air balloons can bring you that other places can't really bring you. Like Entrana is one of the locations. Mm-hmm. So you can teleport there. Let's say you're doing law rune crafting and you're going to Castle Wars and taking the hot air balloon from there. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's probably some ways that I just haven't figured out because we have. Yeah. But we have like 200 million different teleports that sometimes I just forget which ones are optimal, and I just go to the ones that I know.
All right. Question. Hot air balloon to Zia. Should they do that?
Not the worst idea. That's not bad.
If you don't have the Karen teleport unlocked to teleport right to the statue, do you know how awful it is to fucking run to Zia?
Yeah, like, unless you have the Xerix,
if you don't know, but like, if you're new to Zia, like you're going there for the first couple times, the fastest way to go there is to teleport to pest control, take the boat onto the mainland, and then run to Vios and teleport through him, and then you have to run all the way through. Like, what if you have to want to go to Shazian area, right? There's a big open like forest in Zia. They should add maybe like, you know where the goblins are, just west northwest of Port Sarim. There's like a group of goblins and rats. Like, add like a hot air balloon there maybe that takes you to like the woods in Zia. Give like a different alternative teleport method, because like as of right now, if you go there and you don't have any methods, it's like, I don't want to go to Zia. That's a 10-minute run with like, I got to bring 4 staminas to get there. Yeah. Am I graceful? Like, I don't know. But
you do get the Xerix amulet that allows you to teleport to like 4 different spots, but even still, it's just 4, and Zea's a huge spot. Like, it's a huge continent.
What I'm saying, though, but that requires you to go, you have to know to, like, hey, I'm going to go to Zia and run to the Shazians. Like, if you're a newer player, or, like, you're someone who is, like, a skiller or something, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
How you going to unlock that in the beginning? I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool to have that. Honestly, back to the actual question, it would be nice to have, like, an ability to, like, store noted logs or just logs in these baskets.
But you can't take them out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's nice. I could see them be like, well, why don't we just do 280 or something? I don't know. But, I think, like, it would be cool, because, like, I want to see, like, someone use a hot air balloon escape at, like, on, like, Deadman mode or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It could get some nice Twitch clips going, which is good for advertising. Anyways, should the teleport to Otto's Grotto be added to the fishing skill cape? So I'm going to be honest, I don't know what the fishing cape does. Let me look this up. You just get teleports to the fishing guild for an unlimited number of times.
Cool. I got a portal at my house.
Oh, okay. It brings you it brings you right inside instead of, like, just outside of the house, or outside of the house with the cooking range. This gets you, like, right in the meaty part of the guild.
Cool.
So I don't really know, because, okay, Otto's Grotto is, like, the barbarian fishing anvil, like, all that barbarian extra stuff near Backstory and Falls.
Yep.
I don't know what the teleport would be super nice. Maybe if you like to do corp and you're swapping between your Hasta and your spear a lot.
Or you're killing mithril dragons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or your mini games teleport is on cooldown and you want to go do barbarian assault.
Yeah. I mean, there is the games necklace.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for post 99 skillers.
I don't know. So
that means it's a little bit too convenient for those competitive skillers, so that's going to be a big vote on the no.
Oh boy.
I guess so. Like, I don't really know what it adds. Now it's just weird that the fishing skill cape has 2 teleports. Now they start adding 2 to a bunch of other skilling capes.
It's a slippery fucking slope. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just wondering why this is a question.
Yeah.
I'm not informed enough to know, like, what the actual use is. Besides, like, you might as well use a games necklace. I guess it prevents, like, it saves you some time. And I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter.
It could easily just be that people are like, the fishing guild, the fishing cape is kind of shitty. Like, the teleport, sure, you can teleport right into the thick of things, but I can go to my player-owned house and teleport right outside the door, and it takes me 5 seconds to walk in and get into the thick of things, right into the middle of it.
Yeah, I guess instead of 1 shitty teleport, let's have 2. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So, should it be possible to toggle the scroll bar found on the right-hand side of the chat box when in resizable mode to the left-hand side instead?
Oh, so right now, okay, that's whatever.
I don't know what this is gonna do. Do you accidentally click on the right side of your chat and start scrolling by accident when you're trying to drag items? Like, I don't.
Well, see, mine, I have it transparent, so I can click through my chat, right?
Yeah, okay.
Maybe somebody has it so it's, it's like the old school way where it's like filled in. Maybe that will cause it. I've never had the problem.
That's what I've always used. I don't know. I don't know what these questions, like, Jagex, you need a new ideas guy. I'm just going to keep running that joke in the ground. God damn. Should the experience from the long and curved bones be increased to 3 times the current amount? Did you see the guy on the subreddit that, like, traded in a fuck ton of long and curved bones and got, like, 1 million experience or some shit?
Really?
Now this this happened, like, last week. Yeah, I should try and find you the picture. It's super nice. He saved him up for over 5 years. Well, I guess since release. He had never used one. He said, fuck it. Got his last, like, 1 mil experience in construction through long and curved bones. And now they want to triple.
How much does a long bone give you? Do you know?
I think, is it 1,000 and the curved bone's 10,000? I honestly don't know.
I'm going to look it up right now.
1.5 thousand experience. And you need 30 construction for the long bone. And the curved bone is 2. Okay, wow, I was way off on these. So it's 1.5 thousand for the long and 2.25. So 2,250 construction for the curved bones.
I have 31 long bones and 1 curved bone.
Nice. I used a bunch to get from 30 to 50 at one point.
I've saved them because I don't know. I don't know.
Thank God, though, right? So you're voting yes, I'm assuming? Get that juicy experience drop?
Or, if we're moving on to the next part.
You mean in the future?
Yeah, in the future, we'd like to offer you a way to turn in your long bone and curved bones to an NPC who would give you the bone saw in return. The bone saw is an equipable saw that can be used for construction. If you like the sound of this idea, we welcome any future suggestions as to the bone saw's use or the perks it would offer. But what about the crystal saw?
Have you ever heard of the make plank spell? Have you ever used it with sound on?
Oh, I know the sound. I haven't used it personally, but yep.
If you guys are bored, go to Lunars, get some logs, and do the turn log into plank spell, and just do that a bunch for an inventory with your sound effects on. It's the fucking most annoying sound. So that being said, can I have it every time I auto attack someone with this bone saw? It makes that sound. Can I saw someone?
That's
use
not
my
bad.
special attack. I cut into them, make them bleed. I don't know. Could we make like a little puppet in like a wheelchair or whatever? Those mannequin things, the white, from Saw. Could we make one of those with the saw? I don't know.
Why? What? Even listen to yourself? This is
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Maybe my ideas are pretty bad.
Your credibility for being an ideas man is going out the window at this point.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. It's all right. We'll edit this out, right? Anyways,
yeah, we'll just cut her out. I don't know what other ideas you could do for the bone saw, but the only thing is, I use a crystal. Well, I mean, I guess if you're just straight up training your construction, you're not using a crystal saw. So I can see the point of this here. Is this gonna bring in things like the equipable spade?
How about being able to make like a skeleton? Like a cosmetic skeleton in your POH. Like those in the science classrooms?
Oh, with the long bones?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
I mean, it'd be weird as hell, but you'd use those with other bones maybe to make like a skeleton. I don't fucking know. I wonder what perks it would be. It would have to be better than the crystal saw for people to actually use it, though. Because equipping this...
Unless you're just straight up training it to save an inventory slot, which most of the... I think when I was making oak doors, it took 11 or it took a shit ton of planks.
Okay, yeah, because I did tables.
Yeah.
And I had, with my money, my teleport, I brought something extra, so I'd keep an even amount where I could withdraw 20 or whatever, 24 planks at a time. So me equipping the saw would have made it a little bit more tricky. They'd have I guess you're right with the oak doors, maybe? I don't know, but they'd have to.
There might be some items that having this saw will allow you to build one more per trip.
Yeah, there's probably that one item, but I'm talking I'm thinking it's used for the most common training methods. Maybe it would open up a new training method, but I know oak doors and then mahogany tables and stuff are the most popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it will have to be better than the crystal saw. But the crystal saw's use is to you boost with it. So it would have to be maybe you can save planks while using it, or something a little overpowered for it to be put in the game. I don't really know what good ideas would kind of fit with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's move on to the next question, though. Should the hourglass, the pyramid plunder, be removed? The existing bar would remain as an indicator of how long you have left. You've done a lot more pyramid plunder than me, so I don't really have an opinion.
You have a red bar that's kind of ticking down. And then you have this hourglass, which is kind of, I guess it was in before the red bar, but you see the sand slowly drain out, and obviously when that's out, you get kicked out. So it is kind of useless to have it there, because you have the red bar, which is just easier to see because it's just a line.
Yep.
But when it comes to a cosmetic sense, or what's the word I'm looking for? Visually pleasing sense, the
aesthetic?
Hourglass. Yeah, aesthetic. The hourglass is obviously more pleasing to look at than a red bar going across the screen, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But when it comes to
the actual use,
yeah, you're going to be looking at the red bar because it's just a lot more clear how much time you have.
So do you think the hourglass has a place then? Or do you think it should be removed?
It just looks nice. You know what I mean? The thing is, I think that's what it originally was before the red line came up.
Wait, so you're telling me Q Jagex team, let's put in pyramid plunder. All right, how are we going to let the players know how much time they have left? Let's just have an hourglass. all right, that works. And then like down the road, you're like, man, this hourglass is really hard to actually use and know how much time you have left. All right, well, let's not replace the hourglass. Let's add another timer. They just have two fucking timers doing the same thing. What they should add just an analog clock now. That's what we need.
Or just the numbers ticking down?
No, we need like a clock. No. We need some, because we have, I guess, maybe just like a timer ticking down, because that would make the bar useless now, as the bar made the hourglass useless. I mean, I guess it's weird that like they didn't just replace it. They just added the exact same timer, but now it looks different. They're just
could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of what happened.
It's Jagex, so like I believe you. That's probably the case. God damn it.
If I am wrong, let me know, but I believe that's how that happened.
Okay. Weird. All right, let's move on to the next one. Should a new exit be added to the north of the Grand Exchange? The existing agility shortcut would still be faster than using this new exit. I'm assuming this would be nice for free-to-play?
Yeah, it would be. And you wouldn't have to use that crawling underneath the GE to get to Edgeville.
Yeah, I mean, it would be faster to use the agility shortcut.
Yeah.
I don't know how they'd make it fit so it would look nice. I feel like it would be a hole in the fucking wall. It'd be like the Fowler wall. I feel like that's what it would be.
Yeah,
just a hole in the wall you walk through.
I don't mean to derail this whole thing. That one, I don't know. I'm so used to it, but at this point I could see the problems with free-to-play. Sure, why not? I don't really have an opinion one way or another.
I mean, it's annoying, but it's part of free-to-play. Isn't that like one of the like, ooh, let me use, when I'm a member, I can use the ditch. There's not the ditch, but the hole you climb, the tunnel. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much that swayed people.
I mean, it'll pass because it's a convenience thing, right? It's probably gonna pass because it's a random ass convenience thing. But I think it's a little silly to put time into.
I don't know,
adding an open hole in a wall in the auction house of RuneScape.
I mean, at the same time, it does make sense for them to do it. I guess it's kind of weird they never did it to begin with, but not to derail this conversation, but it got me thinking about the GE. And I thought about this earlier this week, and I thought it was weird. If you look at Varrock, they literally just kind of slapped it in right above the bank and beside where the castle is, because I guess that's like a spot they had open.
Yeah,
but it in like a city planner sense,
it
doesn't make make too much sense. You wouldn't. Who the fuck puts the main market spot off to the side of the
outside
city?
Of the town? Yeah, outside of the town near a village full of barbarians.
Yeah, it got me
Pretty
thinking.
dumb.
Like, I'm surprised that when they first brought this in, I know this would take more work, so it's obviously easier to do this. But still, sometimes you just kind of do these things because it's a video game where people pay money and you want it. Whatever. Anyways, point being. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't rework the whole city. Like, maybe put it in on the other side of the Varrock Palace, and this way the wall, and you just kind of move everything back a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If they're going to be realistic, they would have just destroyed the Varrock slums and put that there.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, they should have done that, but that was 11 years ago. A little bit late on that. Yeah, no, you're right though. It is kind of a weird place to slap the economic engine of the world outside of a major city near barbarian village.
Or you just kind of like move everything out of the middle where Varrock Square is, and you slap that's the new Varrock Square, because they already demolished our old beloved fountain, so who the fuck gives a shit about that one anymore, right?
Are you proposing a change to move the Grand Exchange?
I guess I am.
The memes come to life. It is. I never actually thought about how weird of a place it is, but it does fit, right? It's near the wilderness. It's near Varrock. It's like near where you like trade and stuff, right? Where you used to trade, Varrock West.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But honestly, they probably went, this is big enough. Big open. Yeah, whatever. We'll fuck some trees up. Just slap it there.
Should we put it in Falador? Well, we'll have to move around some roads.
So everyone knows it's good to have it next to a bank. Let's put it close to a bank. Varrock? Yeah, okay.
Why don't we do Lumbridge? It's too close to where you die, I guess. Let's, Oh, hey, I found an open spot in Varrock. There's nothing really there.
Do the measurements. Okay, that's fine.
Start coloring it down there with MS Paint.
And they're done. Yeah, we'll go on to the next one, though. Should it be possible to right-click commune with all Ava's devices whilst they're equipped, rather than having to do it while they're in your inventory?
So what, you have one equipped, you click the commune thing, and it does it for every single one of them?
No. Like, so if you want to commune your Ava's simulator, accumulator, or like the device, you have to have it in your inventory. You right-click. There's no right-click when it's on your back.
Oh.
You have to unequip it and do that. I feel like they really, because there's 20 poll questions, we only have a couple more to go through, but I feel like they really had to hit 20, and like, you're gonna, like, the average person communes like 3 times, maybe twice. Yeah. Like, you use it because you're like, man, I'm down for these free steel arrows. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, this is getting a bit annoying. I'm gonna stop it, and you just unequipped it and stop it. I don't think there's many people that, like, during specific tasks, they're communing it on and off. Like, I think most people just set it to something and they just leave it there for, like, extended amounts of time. Like, weeks, if not longer.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I could kind of see it where there are times where I have, like, one spot in my inventory and I have the commune on because, you know, you got to get those mithril arrows, but then you have like an unholy blessing or something in your arrow slot, so then boom, you can't just, you know, it's taking up an inventory slot when you're like, well, fuck, I need that inventory slot to do whatever it is I'm doing to juggle this food. So then you want to commune it off. But then when you're out wood cutting and just traveling, you always have your bag on because you're collecting those mithril arrows because they sell for like 30 GP each. So you want to get like, you know, you get 10, that's boom, 300 GP there.
Yeah, double that.
It's close to like the Vorkath money making methods.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, sure. I mean, if they pulled this thinking, people say, yeah, fuck it. Like,
a lot of these are.
I feel like it's
assuming.
Like it's like a form of brainwashing to get used to everyone just yes. I vote yes. I vote yes. Kind of like they're just putting stupid shit in there. Like, fuck it. Okay, I'll vote yes for this. Slowly being like, do you guys want summoning back? You want dungeoneering back? Hey,
and
remember
just
sailing?
Slip that in between.
Yeah. Like, oh shit, I can't undo my vote.
Yeah. The Ava's device one is question 15, so it's just like question 16. If 15 passes, should we introduce summoning along with it? Wait, what the hell do those two things have in common?
Yeah. Poll question 17. Should we make the yes button on polls take up 3 times the amount of space as no? So you have to fucking click it pretty much. I don't know. I mean, I guess you might as well. I think it's kind of a waste of time, but maybe they think it's worth it. Should the art down cloaks 2, 3, and 4 be changed so their teleport locations show and right-clicking them in your inventory?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I guess.
Honestly, I didn't know that was a thing. I've always just equipped it. I've gotten in the habit of equipping things and then using their right-click options because of like the glory and I don't know. It's weird that they didn't. Whatever. I won't complain. Should the Mortania legs 4 be changed so the teleports to the Ectofungus pit and the Berg Durat show when right-click them in your inventory? Well,
sure.
Yeah. Should the Varrock teleport portal and the POH be changed so that you can select either Varrock or Grand Exchange after completing the Varrock Medium Diary?
Yeah.
You can do this.
So the way it works now is like with the spell book or the portal or the teletabs, because I do this all the time, I have it defaulted to the GE because that's, you know, it's the most useful part of teleporting to Varrock. But sometimes, even though you're not really teleporting to Varrock at this point, it's like in the middle between Edgeville and Varrock. I think we've established that. But anyways, sometimes I need to teleport to get my Zaf staff, and I need to actually go into the city of Varrock, so I have to right-click it, configure, and then a thing comes up and says, would you like to change it to Varrock? And you go, yes, change it to Varrock. Boom, now it's changed to Varrock. And then I click on the teleport. Teleport to Varrock, right-click it again, configure. Would you like to change it to the Grand Exchange? Yes, I'd like to change it to the Grand Exchange. Boom, and then, so you know what I mean? You have to go through like a little menu each time.
Okay, so they want to have like a right-click option where you can choose Varrock or GE?
Yeah, without having to configure.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I would like that. I mean, I've never really been like, ugh, now I gotta conveniently teleport next to Zaf Staff. Oh, now I can conveniently teleport to the Grand Exchange. I've always just been like, that's nice, you know, click yes, just Right click and we're done.
Well, I do it every time. I try to buy Zaf staffs every day, so I right click. I bring 2 tele tabs. One that brings me to the staffs, and one that brings me to the GE instantly, and then I just sell them.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that'd be pretty nice then. Same question with the Camelot teleport and Sears Village.
Sure.
Yeah.
That one, not so much, but I can see it, I guess.
Yeah. I pretty much have always been at Sears Village. I don't know. I don't really change it around too much.
I will use the Camelot when it comes to doing my farm
Farming?
patches
Yeah.
or using that boat that's just south of it.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, if they're gonna do it with the Varrock, I guess it's fair to pull it with the Camelot.
Yeah.
And so let's finish it off with some consistency. Should the Watchtower teleport portal and the POH be changed so you can teleport between the Watchtower or Yanil after completing the already hard diaries with the right click? This would also apply to the Watchtower teleport tab. So it's just consistency for the. I'm gonna say no to this one because I don't have already hards done. I mean, yeah, I guess they might as well.
I forgot that you could do that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, this is the weird thing. I'm looking at my spell tab right now, and I have my Watchtower teleport. When I right click it, it says Yanil teleport. Like in the middle of my menu, I have cast, Yanil, and configure. Now I can't do no Yanil teleport because I don't have my my hard diaries done. Looks like someone's already been slipping that one in.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll move on to the semi-controversial, kind of controversial Easter 2018 holiday event.
Before we move on, they have a little snippet here at the bottom of it, of the polls, and we've talked about it before, and I think we're bringing back our favorite topic. Like, I almost had to end the show because this wasn't coming up as often as I wanted to. But it says right here, in case you missed it, we're also running a competition for the best player suggestion for new unique rewards from the Revenant Caves. Yeah, that's right, baby. There's going to be some new unique rewards coming from the Revenant Caves. You can post in the content suggestion forum, the 2007 Scape Reddit, or the Oldschool RS Reddit. There's 2 different subreddits. And yeah, hopefully they get popular enough that's kind of how it gets voted in. I pitched my ring suggestions that I brought up a few times on the show. Different types of recoils, ones that recoil prayer and recoil different stuns and freezes and recoils energy, stuff like that. Fortunately, they got shot down and just shit on within the subreddit, so I don't think they're going to be making it into the polls.
Yeah, well, now's your chance, though, because they're running a competition, though. So best player suggestions.
No, I reposted this again.
Oh, okay.
I could bring this back to why I hate the Reddit subreddits and how they work. It's great how they work, but when it comes to shit like this, it's not really great, because I've posted these both onto the subreddits just as their own posts when I first thought of them. Got some decent response. A lot of people like them, and they, got a few upvotes and stuff like that. Not enough traction to make it front page worthy. So I don't think any JMods saw it. But then I posted it into these specific threads where it's talking about this competition, and people weren't happy with them and kind of downvoted them, and that was about it. So what I don't like about it is depending on who sees it at what time, whether or not it'll just get hidden from everybody, or it'll be made more public, right?
Yep.
I did nothing to alter these posts, but it's interesting to see how you post it one time and a lot of people like it. Post it another time and a lot of people don't like it.
Well, now it's a competition to who gets a RuneScape snapback, right? They're just going to vote no to everyone that's not theirs. They're going to post it in their clans, hey, wild boys, come upvote me and downvote everyone else. And then everyone does that, and it's like, wow, Dill's got a new old school snapback, which that's actually one of the things you can win.
Oh, holy shit, it is too. There's an old school RuneScape snapback amongst some other fantastic old school RuneScape themed goodies up for grabs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some old school RuneScape vape juice.
Oh, fuck yeah. It tastes like sweat.
Sweat, Cheetos.
Hot Pockets.
Mouse keys. Anyways. It's the Artie Knight's butt. It smells like hands. Everyone's been pickpocketing them. Anyways, let's move on to the Easter 2018 holiday event. So, I haven't done it yet. I'll probably do it today, though, because I've been bored, as I've said 30 fucking times past episode. So I'll just do some dumb shit. I guess I'll just do this. I don't really know.
You're a big fan of that fashion scape, too.
Yeah.
The dumber it looks, it seems like the more you would like it.
Whoa, have you seen my Dark Souls setup? Dark Souls-esque setup with like the hood and the Slayer staff.
Oh, okay, I have seen that. It is pretty badass.
But yeah, most of it's pretty stupid when I'm wearing like my Jester's outfit and stuff. Anyways,
balloons.
So there's another year and another Easter, and it's on the brink of disaster. The explorer, you should journey south of Faldor and visit Easter Bunny to start this year's cracking Easter event.
Cool.
Hatch a plan with Choco and tackle egg sighting crisis. To attack the egg sighting crisis. Help kickstart the chocolate production in time for Easter. This year's event has it all. Egg stream highs, egg explosive lows, plenty of yolks to make you laugh, a hoppy ending, and big eggs.
Oh man, another. And big eggs? Is there a pun there, or is that just...
No, that's it.
Oh, just big eggs. That's good.
Yeah. So they got the little event. The armor is like just egg armor. Like you're just like wearing like 30 fucking eggs on your guy. A lot of people are actually kind of pissed about it though.
It does look extremely stupid. I'm okay for having like ridiculous and silly looking gear, but this is just... I just think it's bad.
One thing is okay to be a little silly, right? Turning into an egg, that's silly. Hopping around with your egg basket, that's silly, but it's cool for both of them. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Dressing up as the Easter Bunny, it's silly, but like, it's not stupid. Like, this armor is like stupid. Like, it's so stupid, it's silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only reason you would want it is because you would want to look as
dumb as possible, yeah.
Yeah, and not like funny dumb where you're like I'm trying to think. Like, I have my own little fashionscape setup that looks pretty damn stupid, which, you know what I mean, consists of some wacky looking gear. But this just looks, I don't even know. It
looks like a football uniform made out of Easter eggs.
Yeah, basically, that's basically it.
Football as like the American, not soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, American football. Yeah. You have like shoulder pads that are like sticking out. It's like someone took a big egg, cut it in half, and stuck it on your shoulder, so they're sticking out like World of Warcraft style big. That's
Dragon Ball Z style. Yeah. Big stupid helmet. It looks really, really dumb. And there was once a time where like the subreddit would sit down and meme on how stupid the outfits you could wear in RS3 is. You know what I mean? Like, we're like this. Like, look at them. They're stupid. Not us. Not old school. And it's like, everyone's like, oh shit, wait a minute. This is happening to us.
Because this gear, like some of the RuneScape 3 stuff, it looks ridiculous. Where it's like you can be a shark and you got these wings and stuff like that.
Yep.
But honestly, I haven't seen anything that looks like this bad. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's a little silly. A lot of people are kind of upset with it. For me, I just kind of felt like it was lazy.
Yeah, that's what I think. They're trying to be like, let's make something that looks so bad that it's like
that they'll never want Easter again.
So then they put this in, but you're just like, yeah, it's funny because of how ridiculous it is. But then you realize like this is actually in the game. You know, you have like the chicken outfit, which looks stupid, but it's funny a bit. You know what I mean? It kind of works.
Give me like an equipable carrot. That would have been way better.
Oh, it's perfect. Like a giant carrot. Like you could use as a sword almost, but it didn't do that much damage.
Yeah.
Not best in slot or anything. Because,
gives you larger render distance. Yeah, that'd be a lot less effort and a little bit better than, like, egg. That's it, just eggs.
Gear. Yeah, eggs. lots of eggs.
Give me an emote where I, like, plop an egg. Let me lay an egg or something.
And it is funny when you see the way that some people kind of take it. Like, whatever, not a big deal. Okay, fine. It's really not that big of a deal. But I saw somebody post a picture of a character from RuneScape 3, and they had like purple skin, they had some wings, and they had this like smoke come behind them that had like these pink hearts.
Yep.
And somebody's like the gear we have in our game is way dumber looking than RuneScape 3, and they posted that picture. And I was surprised by how many people I saw respond to that saying, no, actually the RuneScape 3 picture is way more stupid looking. And I was like, I mean, not really. It's ridiculous looking, but ours is stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's whatever.
Yeah, I'll still do it though. Just because I want them. I want to know what they're doing for the midsummer event though. That's what I'm kind of waiting for. Because they always have the coolest cosmetic rewards for that, and I've missed it every year.
Yeah, that's true. They do have some pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, anyways, though, we'll move on. So the Corporeal Beast and the God Wars changes.
Uh-oh.
So in last week's news post, we announced our intentions to implement some changes to the Corp Cave, the God Wars dungeon boss rooms. These changes were unpulled because we believe they are vital to prevent targeted griefing of Iron Man, and also to prevent Iron Man from abusing special attacks performed by other accounts. We announced the changes before implementing them to ensure your voices would be heard, and we could act on the feedback we provided. Initially, we proposed the Corp Cave would be made for Iron Man of combat levels 50 and over. There were concerns that this wouldn't deter griefing because it's too easily to obtainable, or because the level is too easily obtainable, and it wouldn't resolve the issue. But with this in mind, we've opted to increase the combat level required to enter the cave. There were also concerns that by making this change, we'd be setting a precedent of catering to Iron Man, and there was also a misconception that there would be 2 caves available, which would detract from the immersion of the game, but this isn't the case, as it'll continue to appear as though there is only one cave. You'll be able to enter the relevant cave to your account status and level, and we do believe these changes are necessary to Iron Man mode, and both to ensure the enjoyment of Iron Man, but to preserve the challenging nature of gameplay and interactions with other accounts. Nothing will be misused, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
It's funny, both of our questions were kind of answered with this. Specifically, though, the Iron Man combat level threshold will now be 90 and above.
Nice.
And the God Wars dungeon will now reset when the room becomes empty. This means that without any players in the room, provided the boss has taken damage, the boss will reset and spawn again at the usual respawn rate. So after a minute, it would just reset pretty much with no one entering. I guess if you're an Iron Man, you just have to wait a minute before you jump into any room at God Wars.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Because there's no way to tell if it's been hit. So you have to just sit there, you get there, open up a timer, put like a minute 30 in, and just wait, and then go in. Just to make sure that the boss doesn't take any damage. So they kind of say that they're not going to keep catering towards Iron Man. And yeah, they're going to increase the combat level. So both of our questions were kind of answered with this update on these changes.
That's good.
Yeah, I will say that, like, I hope it kind of stops here with the bossing stuff. Even if it's like Cerberus, I don't want any of like them to keep adding updates just specifically for Iron Man. You know what I mean? Not updates, but like these types of big changes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it will stop here because God Wars and the Corp Beast are like the only problematic ones where like griefing and like hour of your time is kind of thrown away type of a deal. So I guess that's kind of nice. Do you have any thoughts on that stuff?
No, it's good to see that they kind of made it clear that they don't want to cater towards Iron Man for like things like this. Hopefully they don't have to revisit fixing bosses. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's just straightforward and you don't got to worry about any of these weird issues.
Yeah. So in other news, the Blast Furnace bar stock interface has been replaced with the new Make All interface.
Cool.
The warning, which appears when attempting to dive without the equipment on Fossil Island, may now be toggleable to not appear and may be toggleable back on. Talking to Marin. They've added a few map tiles south of Varrock, which would force you to walk elsewhere. They fixed the tiles south of Varrock, where you would try to walk on them and they'd make you walk somewhere else. Nothing major. So, equipping an offhand item whilst there is a two-handed item equipped, or when equipped a two-handed item while there's an offhand item equipped, the item being unequipped will now land in the inventory slot held by the now equipped item. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, okay, I gotcha.
So, I'll clarify it for some people. So, the example they give is, when you equip something to a slot where another item is already equipped, for example, you equip the dagger in your right hand, and you've already got a mace there, the mace would go where your dagger used to be. However, this didn't happen for two-handed items, so if you got a two-handed item equipped, such as a rune two-hander sword, and you equipped it a shield, the sword would be unequipped, but it would not always land in the inventory slot where the shield used to be. Similarly, if you got a shield equipped in the 2H, they wouldn't, not really consistent, they would go into like a random spot or like the closest to the top left, I guess. Does that make sense? They would go in like the next order instead of just replacing the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just want everything to kind of go where you changed. It helps for like you're doing your switches and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we actually have the OSRS mobile, Android results, and the iOS beta to talk about.
Ooh.
We are like 5 months behind schedule for the beta, or for mobile to come out. But yeah, so the Android beta feedback. So in February, you opened Old School Mobile, up to you, the players, aka Dills and Nadigan. For the first time, 2000, you took part in testing.
That's where my RNG finally kicked in after all those years.
Yeah, so they're making some changes to like the way mobile works, so such as banking and shops. So instead of like left clicking for value as you would do now, they want to change it so the deposit X would be, or the withdraw 50 would be the left click option, or I guess the tap option. Makes it just a little bit easier to kind of mess with everything on mobile.
Because that was one of my complaints, was the banking was kind of a pain in the ass, especially with the scroll bar and stuff like that. I don't know if they said they're going to fix that here, but it's also good to note that I'm pretty sure this is going to make it easier for you on the computer as well. It's not just strictly mobile.
Okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, because that would be a whole nother problem right there. I'm sure we'd be hearing a bunch of controversy with that, because they did state they're not going to be making any changes to the game, that it's with the mobile being like the reason they're making it easier, right? Well, They are doing it for this, but it will be easier for you to, like, let's say during Herblore, they can just click, boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Click 14, 14, 14 with your left button.
Yeah, so they're making it easier to buy stuff. So you, like, let's say you're buying arrows, you can set the quantities from 1, 5, and 10, or the value check, and you set those, and then you just left click the arrows and whatnot. Same thing with like banking, right? You can set the 1, 5, 10x all and all that stuff as options, and you can just start tapping away. They're gonna give some more space to the spell books. They're gonna like kind of rework the spell book to ensure it's more easy to use spells.
Yeah, that was another issue. Just hard to click them.
They want to add They wanted to add a customizable UI, but they can't because it's super time consuming and they don't have the team to really do with that.
Mm-hmm.
They also feel like it's not the best use of their time anyways, because lots of people gave it a good usability score already. So I don't know. They're going to do a login overhaul. So they'll make it so you just log into your account on your phone, kind of like how Hearthstone works or something.
Sure.
Instead of having to type in your name and shit every single time and authenticate whatever, like they're going to just have it every 30 days. You just have to log in and you're set.
Perfect.
The shift click drop on the desktop has become a core function of the efficient gameplay since 2017 on its release.
Hell yeah.
With that being said, there's now going to be a drop mode you can set in the interface so you can just drop stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, they're refining what gestures and controls do what actions and whatnot. It's kind of hard for them to figure that out, but they'll kind of work on it. They're going to be implementing a controls tutorial available on demand for those on mobile to see a demonstration of exactly how the controls work. With the tooltips, they want to make it so, like, currently the tooltips are only visible when you hover your mouse over game elements, but it's not useful on the phone, obviously, because tapping it. They're trying to figure out the best way to replicate tooltips, because I guess I never even thought about that. Finding out how much experience you need for a skill would be next to impossible.
Well, the reason it's kind of hard was because when I was doing it, your thumb covers up what you need to see.
Yeah.
So, like, you're pressing down with your thumb. The experience, it says needed for your next level, you can barely see it because your thumb's there.
Yeah. Knowing what actions you've just initiated is generally considered a good user experience. We know that because we get a yellow or red X depending on what happened when you interact with the game. That doesn't really work with mobile though, so they're going to try and find a way on how to do that. Anyways, with all the stuff they're changing and talking about, how do you feel? Is there anything they missed out on? Because like you were in the beta.
It seemed pretty good. Another complaint I had was the scrolling in the bank, which I don't. But they said they're going to be looking at banking in shops. So I'm sure they're going to probably see that as well.
Yeah, maybe add arrows or something with a scroll bar.
Well, yeah, what I thought was just dragging it, and then if you wanted, because what you can do is you can move an item. If let's say you're reorganizing your bank, you press your finger on an item and you hold it there, and then you kind of pick it up, and then you can, if you're still holding it, you drag it around, and if you drag it down, you'll scroll down with your bank. Mm-hmm. So that it's easy to do it with that, but if you're not wanting to move shit around in your bank, it gets kind of difficult because you can't just like. It's similar to with whatever. You just do a swipe and you kind of scroll through your whole bank. You know what I mean? Depending on how hard you swipe it, the faster and more it'll go down in your bank.
Yeah.
But I found it was like, if you didn't, I have tons of tabs and I'm super organized with my bank, so I didn't have too much issues. But if you don't have any tabs, I can only imagine how much of a pain in the ass it would be. But yeah, besides that, it's good to know that at the beginning they did say that the response through the survey and for the Android beta was an overwhelming positive one, and people thought it was great. Like the way it was super just intuitive and stuff. Like it was just it just worked really well for what it was in a beta. It ain't none of that early access stuff we see all the time, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty good, pretty well put together.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, in April, they're going to be doing the iOS beta for all you Apple kids.
Yeah, the good old Applers.
Yeah, so Tuesday, April 10th, the invites will be sent. The 13th, the beta will be open. The 16th, the survey will be sent. The 19th, beta will be closed. I don't know why they're not just cycling 2,000 people every couple of weeks. Like, I want to fucking get in the beta. I want to try raids and shit on my phone. I want to try Bandos on my phone. I want to actually see what the usability is. Because, like, okay, I could do herb runs, but I don't fucking do herb runs as is. You know, I want to go, like, try random shit. I want to see exactly, like, you know, I'm taking a dump. Can I go kill, I don't know, Calphite Queen or KBD, Callisto?
Yeah. Like, I saw some write-ups about bossing and how it is difficult, but you could do it. It's just, it should be this way, but it will be more difficult to do on your phone, obviously.
Yeah,
than
it
your
obviously
computer.
shouldn't be better, or, you know, you're going to be at a clear disadvantage in general on your phone. But I just want to see, like, kind of how it played out, right?
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Would it be one of those mobile games where I put my phone down and I don't have my hand, you know what I mean? Because my thumbs are covering important parts of the UI at all times, like some games.
Yeah.
Or like I have my hand in that weird shape where I'm coming from the top of the screen, coming downwards, or, you know, or I can't just hold it comfortably.
Yeah, like from what I saw, you definitely can. I was able to, you know, I did Slayer and I did a bunch of like skilling and stuff like that because at work, skilling is fucking perfect. Pick it up for 10 minutes, do a quick little herb run, put it back down. Mm-hmm. So it's great for that. But one thing we'll run over, because if you weren't in the beta or if you forgot when we did bring this up, but if you're an iOS user, you could be having to deal with this. The way they do it is, first things first, they'll send you a message in your RuneScape account mail center. You basically have to go on the website, log into your account, and then check your mailing part. And then it'll say, boom, you received the beta, da-da-da-da-da. It'll give you kind of a code in that message. You will also get an email with that same code. So don't go to your email first, because there's a lot of phishing emails and stuff like that are getting sent out to steal your information. So like you could check your email, but don't go off the email, go off the mail you receive in your account on the website. And yeah, do it from there.
All right, it's good to know. You know, for the beta, I won't be getting fucking invited to because I'm gonna go buy an iPhone.
Do that
buy
right
iPhone
now.
X. Yeah, I'll be right back, guys.
Spend $1,000.
I'll get it, use it for a week, or if I don't get in the beta, then I'll just return it.
Can you do that?
No, probably not. But yeah, that being said, that is it for the updates.
Cool stuff, fun stuff. And since that's all for the updates, moving on to community stuff, I didn't see a whole lot going on, at least nothing interesting to talk about. The one thing I noticed, and this was actually going back a couple weeks, was a suggestion. We don't normally talk about suggestions on the show. We thought about a segment where we would talk about like a suggestion of the week, and we did try it out, but we cut it out because it just turned into like really bad suggestions were coming out all the time.
Yeah.
So it was nothing that we wanted to talk about.
Meteor mining, summoning.
Week 3 of summoning. So a couple weeks ago, I had noticed this post, not this specific post, but I saw a post on Reddit referencing this one, because this is going back like over a year ago. This was just suggested. And I just started looking at it, but it was a really well made design for one of the cities in RuneScape that we have not yet received and has been kind of sitting empty in our world map. So we have kind of 2 of them that I can think of off the top of my head. One of them is Prifddinas, which is the Elven city. And the other one is Menaphos, which is right next to Sophanum. Little fun fact, that's Menaphos is Sophanum backwards, basically. But that's another area that's been left kind of empty. RuneScape 3 does have them, but it's just something we never got in old school RuneScape because because we just didn't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this suggestion going a year back, and it was created by a user named Darkblade273. And yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea. And it's something that I hope we do see at some point, because, you know, the little kid in me remembers just wandering up to these it's like a crystal wall is just blocking you off from going inside of it. And, the idea is that it's there. We're just not allowed to go into it. And you know what I mean? It's always been very mysterious to me. And I'm sure it's kind of mysterious to you as well. Anyways, the design for this area is supposed to be more of like an end game city. Not like an end. So RuneScape 3 has it, and it's an end game city. We can do a lot of tasks you can only do within that city, and it becomes like the best experience per hour. I don't know them exactly because I don't really play too much RuneScape 3. I dabble on my old account every now and then. Well, it's like my new account now because it's such a low level. Not too experienced, so I can't really say exactly what they do there, but I know a lot of people say if you're trying to get the best rates end game, you're going to be going to the city to do it. Yeah, the suggestion is have this city. It would come with a new quest called A Tale of Two Cities. So it's similar to A Tale of Two Cats. But this is moving onwards between Morning's End 2 and that quest line. So in this suggestion, we've talked about it through the lore segment that there's 8 different families or 8 different clans that kind of reside in the city. So in this, they put each clan would have kind of a theme, whether it's and then the ones they have is melee, thieving, ranged, fletching and construction, agility, magic and prayer, then herblore and farming, and crafting to tie into each one of them. So with a bunch, I'm not going to go through everything because it's a pretty lengthy write-up. I'll post it into our Discord if you guys are interested in checking it out, but it has things with like new things to steal from, some new crafting gear and stuff like that, but nothing that's going to be replacing any of the best in slot stuff that we currently have. But there is 3 items here that they kind of proposed called the Ring of Saren, which is a ring that would give you ranged attack as well as prayer bonus. A crystal staff, which is a magic specking weapon with a prayer bonus. And then the Necklace of Saren, which is a magic attack and defense necklace with a prayer bonus. Whether or not those specific items would fit in the game, I really like the idea of bringing in a new set of crystal gear. Because I love the crystal gear we have now, and it's got a way that it degrades and acts as a gold sink that's super unique compared to, barrows and other stuff like that. And if you don't know, there's basically 10 charges. Each charge has like 250 hits. As you blast through the 250 hits, it goes down a charge. And with each lower level of charge, it has not as strong of stats. You are able to bring it back to its original stats by going to NMZ and imbuing it. But anyways, basically, once you get it down to the last tier of charges and you use up all the hits, it reverts into a crystal seed. You got to bring it to a person to convert it back into a weapon or a shield. And it costs you, I think the first time it's like 800k, but then the second time it's like 700k, and it keeps going down until it hits like a base of 200k per having to recharge it. But yeah, I don't know how you feel about something like that. I think it's a pretty cool idea, so I thought I would bring it up.
I think it would be cool to have like the Prifddinas or whatever, that city be like implemented into the game and Menethos and all that.
Yep.
But the only thing is, when it happened with RS3, it kind of, they had another Grand Exchange there, which is obviously a big issue, but it really did split the community in a way, and there's it opened up with a lot of kind of overpowered or strong best in slot training methods, and it kind of mess with the balance of things. And we keep we've said this in the past, but we wouldn't make the same mistakes as RS3 type of a thing, but Jagex kind of does repeat itself in terms of making the same mistakes. We've talked about that in the past quite a bit, so it kind of makes me hesitant on yeah, sure, because unless everyone can get behind a new Artie Knights type of a thing with a new thing to pickpocket that's really good, maybe 95 plus thieving or whatever it is. Yeah. I think the main thing is if you bring a new city like this without any good, when I say good content, I mean good rewarding content, people won't really do it. Fossil Island, people do it, but it's not that popular.
You rarely see people there
compared to. There's more people in each world at Otto's Grotto than...
Yeah, definitely.
Than Fossil Island.
You do make a good point of splitting the community within the game a bit. You saw this issue with World of Warcraft, if you ever played that game. They have the main cities of Orgrimmar for the Horde faction, and then I believe it's Ironforge for...
Stormwind?
Or Stormwind for the Alliance faction. But then with the next expansion, which was Burning Crusade, they came out with a new city called Shatrath City, which was in this new continent or whatever called the Outlands.
Oh, yeah, you're going way back.
Yeah, this new city would bring every person could go there. So suddenly this is where like the new hub was that people would go. But you found people, not as many people were suddenly at Orgrimmar or Stormwind. And then with the next expansion, they brought in, I can't even remember what the city was called, but I believe it was that floating city.
From Dalaran?
Maybe. But then you saw that like Shatrath City became, like it had very little people there unless you were doing the content on that area.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, WoW's a bit different in terms of like, everyone's, you know, you hit a set level decently fast and you just kind of hang out there and everything is just, like, you're kind of playing for the end game. Old school, like, the issue is that it's more of a sandboxy game, and, like, it's very open, where I go to Lumbridge and Varrock all the time, or I go to Faldor, like, you know, every day still. Like, I'm always kind of going around the whole map. But, like, if you split, like, the high-level community and the lower levels, the player base isn't really that big as is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bad. I mean, it wouldn't be as bad, because, like, they wouldn't be adding a second Grand Exchange. I'd hope they wouldn't, at least.
No, that's the problem.
The big issue is that they have to bring in really good either money or experience methods for higher leveled people.
Or unique rewards, right?
Yeah.
Gives you a reason to go there for something.
Before, like, any new unique, like the ones you're talking about, those, like, I want to see how raids play out, because I feel like a lot of people are going to go, oh shit, these are a little bit too good. Like, the same thing with, like, the Twisted Bow. Same thing, like Ancestral is so fucking strong. You know what I mean? Like, all, like, the Raids 1 gear was really good. And, like, I guess the Dragon Hunter crossbow wasn't that good, but now it's been buffed, and you're like, fuck me, this is really strong. Like, the Elder Maul is, like, it's niche, but it's pretty decent. I mean, obviously there are some trash items. The Dragon Claws, you know, it kind of fucks with PvP pretty hard. Just a little bit. But, like, I don't know. I think people were like, kind of more accepting with that. The T-Bow, like, Twisted Bow really is disgustingly broken. And depending on how... Because these new items aren't niche coming in. These Raids 2 items aren't going to be as niche. Like, the Rapier will straight up replace your Tentacle Whip unless you're fighting something that's weak to slash. But, it'll pretty much replace the Tentacle Whip. The new Staff will replace the Trident. The Scythe will replace the Whip in terms of slash, I believe.
Yeah.
And slash, like, you know, things are weak to slash. So, like, I want to see, since these items aren't as niche coming, I want to see where they kind of sit. And if you have a million different niche items, it's like, that's kind of what Jagex Answers being. And if they keep adding them, it gets to a point where, like, the items you have to get are too far spread out. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to get every best in slot item in the game, you're going to be getting items that you use once a month. You know what I mean? Like you get like a Spectral Shield. You're going to use that only on Cerberus tasks, pretty much. I mean, obviously there's other things you would, but pretty much you'd only be using on Cerberus. The Bludgeon, I guess maybe Cerberus too, but Gargoyles. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I do like I do want to see like a new city or something. I am kind of worried though, because of like Zia's taken so long to like actually finish.
Yeah, that's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, so like maybe in the far future, I'd still like to see them kind of finish mobile, finish raids, work a bit more on Zia, and then kind of start looking at like what the community, not like what we want, but like what they should kind of do, like what we need, what holes are left to fill.
Yeah, exactly. And there are some splotches in the map that need to be filled in, and those are two big ones. Anyways, the reason I wanted to bring this one up, because it was a good suggestion, but but on top of that, I noticed that at the time it was posted, a JMod had actually responded on it. This was Mod West, and he says, great job. Funnily enough, Kieran was showing me the elf city in the main game today. Never have actually been there myself. If we are to make a version of it, I definitely want to make it different to how their version is, and preferably keep the skilling areas outside of the city as you've done. And that he also says that the force is in need of being more than just a nuisance to other players. So it does seem like again, a lot of these JMods have these, what do they call it? they're like Friday projects where they can kind of work on their own thing, their own ideas that they want to bring in, and then they kind of pitch it. That's what we saw with the Revenant Caves. It was somebody's kind of like they have like a free day to do whatever the hell they want, and they pitch it, and if people like it, they bring it into the game. This could be following on to somebody's like side project sort of deal. Interesting to see that it is being kind of looked at. It's not like a forgotten area that nobody's paying attention to anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It's nice, I guess, that they're looking into it. Yeah, maybe it's just something they're going to be gearing towards to maybe adding at the end of the year or something.
Or a couple years from now.
Yeah, I mean, we have mobile and raids coming out. I'm assuming raids will come out in like the first half. Maybe mobile is all they have planned for like the rest of the year. But they usually have like more than,
Well, they've talked about it with when we have the Rune Fest, and we kind of gone over all their ideas that they want to bring this year.
Yep.
One of them was the Farming Guild, if you remember that. Kind of like a new expansion to the farming skill, as well as a bunch of PvP updates. Now we did get some of it with the Revenant Caves and the Mage Arena 2, which at the time very underwhelming. Luckily, Mage Arena 2 is a lot better now, but still. But another thing that they had planned with, I don't know how it's going to be as I don't know if it's going to be as well received because of the aftermath of the last PvP update, but it was basically Bounty Hunter Slayer, if you remember correctly. It was Bounty Hunter, but you'd have certain requirements on how to complete things. I don't know I can't remember how exactly they proposed it, but it was something on those lines.
Kill someone with 2 defense?
Maybe I think it'd be more on the lines of kill somebody with a DDS.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue is you could easily farm, get your buddy to,
Yeah, I'm sure they would figure out ways so you couldn't do it, but I don't know. It is something that they're probably going to be proposing, and so that as well as the farming update and the raids is all we have left. And I know mobile is a totally separate team that's working on it. Yeah, I think that's basically it for community stuff that I had noticed. Nothing too much was going on, it seemed. Okay, so yeah, we'll move along to our section of lore. So last week, we wrapped up the lore segments talking about all the different races within old school RuneScape. And I believe now is the perfect time to start going through kind of the history of RuneScape and what's kind of happened in the past. Which means we're going to be starting this week talking about the very first age. It is something that we have talked about in our first lore segment when we were talking about the Elder Gods. So some of this might sound familiar, but we'll go through all the things that we do know and I guess other theories for the first age. The first age is also known as the Age of Creation. There is very little known about this era as it happened roughly 8,000 years ago. But what is safe to assume is that this is the period in which Guthix discovered a blank plane where he called it Gielinor and began to shape it how he pleased. After Guthix had created this world, it is believed the god Seren, which is the god of the elves, arrived as well. Besides Guthix, she is currently the only other god who arrived during this age, or that we can assume arrived during this age. This is also the era in which it may have been possible for the elves to arrive onto Gielinor. Roughly 4,000 years later, after the creation of this world, Guthix descends underground, beginning his slumber, and this event is what marks the end of the very first age. Those events are what is commonly believed amongst most of the people on Gielinor, but there is alternate theories when it comes to this. There is a book of folklore titled The Myth of the Elder Dragons, which is found in the Wise Old Man's house. And this states that, quote, although the Elder Dragons are generally considered to be a myth, stories tell of an ancient race that dwelt on Gielinor before any other. In some arcane way, their life force was linked to the life of the world itself. It is written that, as long as the Elder Dragons continue to live, the world shall not end. However, skeptics claim that the myth of the Elder Dragons was invented to cast doubt on claims that this realm was lifeless until the gods first arrived. unquote. So if this is to be believed, it would mean that the extinction of the Elder Dragons would result in the end of the world. Some believe that the Elder Dragons could be the Dragonkin that Robert the Strong had annihilated. Though many believe that the Dragon King are extinct, their survival of a very limited number would tie in with the Elder Dragons and the world's continued existence. This theory of the Elder Dragons is not widely known, nor is it popular, and as I just mentioned, could be created to cast doubt of other theories of this creation of Gielinor. Unfortunately, that is, for the most part, all that is known about the First Age. These events happened about 8,000 years ago, and lasted for about 4,000 years before the end of that age. And which means next week we'll be talking about the Second Age, where we begin to see a lot more god activity. It is often referred to as the Golden Age of Zeros and the Age of When Gods Walked. And that is all this week for lore. And with all that done there, now it is time for us to kind of move on to our little community and how you guys can get in contact with us and all that jazz. First things first, I put a little poll, and I kind of got everyone else's ideas on when we asked it, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about whether we should have Dead Man Mode separate episodes, or if we should combine the two when they happen, in the regular one. And it seemed like most people want them to be tied into the regular episodes. My only worry is that sometimes I feel like these episodes are going to go on a little bit too long, but I haven't heard too many complaints about them, so if you do have a complaint, let us know that if you feel like they're too long, let us know why and stuff like that. Or if you want them to be separated, please let us know, because sometimes I'm putting out like a 3-hour episode. I'm like, I hope people don't start getting burnt out of this, but I guess so far so good, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, feel free to tell us if it's a bit much, because like sometimes, if it goes too long, we're kind of like, oh fuck, let's just end this. Let's hurry this up. Like, it's getting way too long. And a big part of it is, like, I listen to a lot of podcasts at work, and there's only a handful of podcasts that I listen to that go that long. And, a lot of the video game-related podcasts that I check out, they seem to be not as long as ours tend to be, so that's why I sometimes get palms start getting a little sweaty once we hit that 2.5-hour mark, and I'm like, ooh, aye.
Yeah. So, please let us know. But, it seems like everyone's enjoyed that, which is great to hear. It's surprising, to be honest, but... Mm-hmm. So for now, we will be keeping the Dead Man Mode and the regular episodes kind of tied together when the tournaments happen. If for whatever reason we decided to start doing Dead Man Mode stuff ourselves and start trying to tackle that section of the game, if we want to give like full in-depth walkthroughs of what we're doing, we might start doing separately then, but for now, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And the last thing that's kind of going on is the Blacksmith Bhooley giveaway. I think that's what we're going to start calling it, because that's basically what's going on here. He is making a Dwarf Cannon miniature and decided to give it away. We talked before that we were going to have, show up on Saturday, April 7th. I don't even think that's the right date, but show up and do this thing, and you might have a chance to win it. He's actually changed it since. There's been a little bit of tweak in the system to make it more accessible to anybody who wants to partake. So with this one, you basically just buy tickets from him in order to win it. You can buy it all the way up until April 7th, which is where he's going to have the draw. So just find Bhooley in our clan chat or in the game, or bug him on Discord. It's 200k per ticket, and there is a limit on how many you can buy. You might have to ask him about that, because I don't see it here, but this just allows him to kind of, he puts a lot of work into this, and to these giveaways. There's a lot of, if you just look at them, there's a lot of work he puts into these items he makes, right?
Yep.
As well as he pays for the shipping and all that stuff. So he does a lot. So the 200k is it's a pretty small thing to pay in for. And this way he can kind of, I guess, he makes some RuneScape money with that. Unfortunately, I don't think the post services will take GP as a currency. Not yet, at least. Wait till GP becomes the new crypto.
Yeah.
But if you do want to win that Dwarf Cannon, just go bug him and make sure you have your 200k on hand. And then April 7th, he will be posting a video of him pulling the names all out of a hat to see who the winner is. And I'm thinking we might do an event that day on the 7th. We'll let you know on Twitter and Discord and Facebook if we decide to do like a drop party or something to go along with it. But that one, we'll see how that works out as well. And he's also started on his next item he's going to be giving away. So I already jumped right into that one.
Yeah.
So after this Dwarf Cannon giveaway, the next item is going to be a Dragon Battle Axe.
Get your yarg or your yarg going.
Yeah.
Boost that strength up.
The next contest is going to be post a video of you making that, doing the sound effects.
Go to the mall. Get your best in slot strength gear. Some
That's too
IRL
funny,
pest control. Anyways.
But the Battle Axe looks badass. It looks great. And, yeah, it's crazy. So I want to thank Bhooley for doing this. It's, I don't know, it's cool. It's something pretty cool to have going on within the little clan chat, Discord, and little community we got going on here. So,
yeah.
I want to thank him for volunteering his time to do this for us. And with that being said, you might be wondering, how do you get in contact with us and the show? You can join us in-game on Oldschool RuneScape by joining the Wild CC clan chat. Our Twitter is @TheWildernessRS. Our Facebook is facebook.com/TheWildernessPodcast. Our email is thewildernnesspodcast@gmail.com, all one word. And if you want to join our Discord, we do have them both posted on the Facebook page as well as the Twitter. You can always bug us in game and we'll get you the links so you can come hang out in there. So that's it for the show. Deegan, you got anything you want to throw out there?
Twitter, Twitch, DeeganRS.
Solid.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know. If you're like a higher level member and like listener, I guess, and you're looking for PVM, like we do have like PVM groups going on pretty much every day.
Seems that way. I'm always seeing people doing Zamorak, God Wars boss, or we do like a large event with Corp. You don't even have to be like super gear, like the max level for it. You can just join in and have fun and kind of get like a mass going on, and it's a great time. But that's something I'm going to be looking to do today, actually. I'm going to see if anybody wants to. I've seen some people who want to try out some of the God Wars bosses, and I think that would be kind of fun to jump in there.
Yeah, just feel free. Yeah, always some good PVM going on with the boys.
We got some PvP one day.
Yeah, pretty much all I have to say.
Sounds good. All right, with that being said, I think we should shut this thing down. We'll move on to next week.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening to our April Fool's episode. Unfortunately, only a little bit of gas at the beginning there, but
some goofs, some gaffs.
It's a good time all around.
Yeah, all right, guys. Have a good one.
Take care.